with Andrew Cox. Andrew, what do you have for us today?
Tony, it's Friday, so we got the DHL Supply Chain Pricing Power Index. Our article came out yesterday. It has fallen another 5 points towards the shippers. The shippers are now in a dominant control position of the pricing and bid negotiations between the shippers and the carriers.
So this was a move back from last week. What were some of the driving or not so driving factors for this move?
Yeah, if we want to look at it from another week, we fell down from 25 to 20. You know, this has been I've been on a little bit of a ride after right before Christmas. We jumped up to a controlling position almost for the carriers. They had a lot more pricing power. There was a lot more capacity. A lot less capacity and more volume right there before Christmas. But if you want to look for the last month, it's just been flat. We haven't had much to write about on the capacity nor the volume side for the DHL Supply Chain Pricing Power Index. And this week it wasn't so much a case of bad news that the data came back as worse than it was the previous week, but it's just continuing deterioration of a bad environment for carriers.
Right, and one of the things that we're looking at, you said this was flat. Another area in the general economy, we didn't see a lot of stellar results there over the week, right?
Right. We've just seen kind of lukewarm economic data. We had some strong housing data. Employment's still strong. The economy's still good, but that doesn't give carriers any pricing power in their negotiations. We're looking here at volumes and capacity. If volumes can go up while capacity can stay the same, then we're looking at increased rate pricing power for the carriers and vice versa. Right now, we're just seeing capacity still really loose throughout the entire country on both reefer and van portions of the industry, but our outlook is a little bit brighter. We're looking at a 3-month outlook, which would be mid-May, and we're thinking that it will be somewhere around 55. This isn't our chart, but somewhere around 55, 50 would be a balanced market. So we do think the carriers will be in power in about 3 months.
Right, and so you mentioned that outlook, some upward movement there or some move to the other side of the pendulum. What are some of the driving factors really behind that thinking?
Well, we think the impact of the coronavirus will be kind of already gone through its phases, and we'll have a lot of the influx of the volumes that are kind of stuck in drayage and stuck in Chinese ship ports right now. We think most of that will be coming through to the West Coast and some to the East Coast, and that's going to create an influx of capacity at the same time, an influx of volumes, at the same time that we have produce season hitting, and we also have summertime coming around where people will be drinking a lot more beverages and increasing consumption. So we just think that there'll be almost a capacity crunch. We're going to have a lot of volume coming in, and we do think that some of the capacity will churn with this drug clearinghouse and some of the company closures we expect because of higher insurance rates. We just think it's kind of a lot of things happening at the same time there in May and June.
Got you. So quick summary, as of now, a very slow start to the year. Not necessarily bad news, but flat news, and not a lot happening, and that's really holding things down. But we expect this to really start to pick up in the coming months and moving into that midpoint of the year of 2020.
Yeah, precisely. We do believe that the second half and even the summer and second half of 2020 will be much better for the carriers. Right now, the shippers are in dominant control. They have been for a while now, but we do think things will ease up and we'll get some of the pricing power floating towards the carriers here in a few months.
Excellent. Andrew, thank you so much. And thank you for tuning in. That's going to do it for this DHL Supply Chain Pricing Power Index. Be sure to tune in next week for another update.